Welcome to my merry memories.
Hello everyone, we're here in the Astoria 14 theaters, and I just wanted to show you the behind the scenes, a little bit of running the reels for the film.
This is a collage of videos, photos, and past memories that really enhanced my experience as a filmmaker. And it also features my mother, who this film is dedicated to.
Well, I really enjoyed playing strippers. It was sparkling and hilarious. It talks about everyday life, exactly what happens daily. It really was an interesting movie. Congratulations on it.
You want to see yourself? Look, you can see yourself.
Well, that's what I look like.
That's what you look like. Isn't that amazing?
I take a picture. Look at it.
Detroit wins this game. Oh, Detroit can't win this game, right? Because
With part of the table.
I like Charlie back.
The sequence of all of these different videos brings back lots of memories. There was a time when my mother, when we were at the hospital because of the passing of my grandmother. The whole premise behind the feature film is about the nostalgia and the wonderful days that you spend as a child enjoying the holidays, and how when you're a kid, it is your parents who actually make this whole idea and tradition of Christmas come to life.
Today is December 24th, 2007. It is 11:25 p.m. Panama time. We are capturing Christmas 2007.
When you're a kid, it is your parents who actually make this whole idea and tradition of Christmas come to life. And then as you get older, and your parents get older, it is you, within your job description as son, taking care of your parents, to turn it around for them and make their Christmas memorable and their New Year's Eve memorable. And that's what I did as my mother got older, and she needed more attention. And I always went back home and did our same traditions. Interesting enough, my mother would always cook up a meal and everything as if the whole family was together, even though everyone was grown and out of the house. But we still did our thing.
It's New Year's Eve at around 5:30 p.m. And here is a New Year's Eve dummy.
This is the first we have one of those things, huh? The hat drop off.
What is this thing hanging from the house?
Well, that's what they have all over.
Somebody killed themselves.
Yeah, it's all over Panama.
The battery's low. Just make sure you can't see shit.
Family tree is based on this Panamanian tradition where life-size dolls are actually designed.
Just focus my camera.
Life-size dolls are made every year for end-of-the-year festivities in Panama, and it's something that I actually acquired later on in life, and I designed my dolls based on piñatas. Ever since I was a child, I've always had a fascination for piñatas. Every single birthday, I always used to check behind her dresser because that's where she used to hide the piñatas. And I would always look behind the dresser practically once a week to see, my birthday or not, to see whether she had a piñata there for me. And when time came close to my birthday, I'd remember that even before she announced that there was a birthday party, there was already a piñata hiding behind the dresser, and I would always peek behind the dresser to see what kind of piñata she brought.
Something happened to you that you would give me some sort of sign or signal.
Do I let go and let God? On this day, I let go of any fear that may be holding me back. I let go, let God, and enjoy the adventure. You have made me strive freely, and my feet do not slip. As taken from the book of Samuel, second book of Samuel, chapter 22. Then for today, which is Thursday, December 31st. With God's love in our hearts, we fully experience the happiness of life. Happiness is a state of heart and mind. It is ours to choose. When we rise each morning, we think positively. We begin our day with a smile on our face and a song in our heart and says, "Thank you, God, for another perfect day." We spread happiness in our interactions through a simple smile and a cheerful outlook. I lift the spirits of family and friends. We look on the light side of life, realizing that goodness and love can be found.
I would blow up the dolls first, and then follow the blowing up of the dolls with a fireworks show. And everybody in the neighborhood would usually come out of their houses to enjoy the show that I would put on for them every year. And I always delight myself in planning these spectacles for them and for the enjoyment of the community.
Happy New Year, Mother. Happy New Year.
So those are wonderful memories that I've spent every year having with my mother as she went into as she got older. These are memories that I shared with her, and she really enjoyed that. That's the church where my parents got married. And it's interesting because this church is where I grew up and formed the interest for to be in theater and film, and I started out in church plays. And this is the same church where my parents got married. And unfortunately, the church is short of being abandoned. Very few people are there because the people who used to be there, it was a very full church when I was growing up, but people grow up and they move away and move on to other things. And the church is still open, but there's only a few people there now. And it's just how life changes, and that's another thing that the movie's all about also, is how life changes and how we must adapt from going out of our traditions into creating traditions for our folks, into getting used to having traditions without them and continuing that in their name, which was to always put up the manger, which was something that I actually started when I was a kid, and I noticed that other houses had these amazing mangers. And I told my mother back in 1981, why don't we have a manger of our own? And that's when we started one in 1981 out of crepe paper and cutouts. And it's always nice to keep that tradition alive. Another part of memories growing up is my mother loved parties and social events, and we always had those, and we invited all of our friends and family, and they were really a lot of fun. And these were societal events where people really look forward to going to our parties, and I enjoyed the whole process of the event planning of these parties. So much so now that me being in the business of film, film is a filmed event, and you get to plan all the details. And I just love every part of planning an event that has to be recorded, which is what film is all about. And that I learned from my mother and her putting on these social events for the family, celebrating birthdays or achievements, anniversaries. There's my mother with my nephew as she sings a song from The Sound of Music. The Sound of Music was my mother's very favorite movie of all time, so much so that we would make it a tradition to watch it around the 23rd or the 24th of every Christmas.
Un 12 de enero, al inicio de la década de los 70, a las 2:23 de la tarde. Un día a donde la creatividad y la iniciativa se unieron para crear una nueva voz. Un talento y espíritu que le daría al mundo el resplandor de una nueva visión. La originalidad e iniciativa de Jorge se destacó desde temprano cuando durante sus años formativos él se la pasaba creando su propio entretenimiento en base a sus juguetes favoritos, como lo eran los tocadiscos, el cine y las piñatas, entre otras cosas. Sus amistades de la infancia lo podrán confirmar que nunca faltó la presencia de una piñata en las fiestas de cumpleaños de Jorge. Unos de los periodos favoritos siempre han sido las festividades de fin del año. La Navidad y el Año Nuevo siempre lo dio a Jorge la oportunidad de definir nuevos retos y metas.
My mother, she was the inspiration for the family tree, and she cultivated a tradition of Christmas growing up that was second to none. There's a part in the film when Alina is talking to Victor about how when we were small and he would leave cookies and milk out for Santa Claus. That is actually a true part of my childhood Christmas. My parents would put me to bed rather early with the excuse that Santa Claus is going to come and I don't want to miss him or the gifts that he's bringing. So by 9, 10 o'clock, I would pretty much be put to bed. And I remember that one year I really wanted to see him. So I left cookies and milk under the tree. And I woke up around minutes towards midnight and literally crawled underneath the dining table and sat and waited for him. And all I could see is my mom going back and forth. And I'm thinking, oh, well, Santa Claus brought my mom gifts.
So we're here at the Pan American Institute, my old alma mater, where I spent my development years from kindergarten through some part of high school. And I'd like to show you and give you a little tour of my school.
But there I discovered that you had all of these artistic things.
Yeah.
It was second, third year.
Para ver el cabello. Oye, pero píntate los labios y eso lo van
Eso
a
no
ver
sale.
internacional.
I need to put a little bit of makeup.
Okay.
I don't have my makeup. Let me see.
El lápiz labial.
Ameer was my student. I remember, and it was like in third year, that he was very skinny in those times, and he was a very dynamic student. I remember those times. He always participated in the classroom, very cooperative, friendship around the school, and all the teachers know him or him here. Whenever we need something, we request something from him, he was always there, a very responsible person.
And I've always had an interest in paying it forward. I've been very blessed of having this career that I've had so far, and I really wanted to make sure that upcoming generations had an opportunity to experience all the potential and creativity involved in theatrical presentations. So I went back to my high school and I helped the 11th and 12th graders prepare these presentations so they can get a taste of what it's like to produce, direct, and act. And from there, I actually started Latin America's first high school film program at my old high school. And it took several years to get that going with the government and with my high school and with the planning stages and all. The program inaugurated on January 8, 2015, and the very first graduating class of this first ever high school film program with the high school diploma in film graduated December 2017, and that by far is one of my dearest achievements and legacies that I give anyone, because there's nothing like leaving someone education and knowledge.
También tenemos la cantidad de estudiantes para iniciar el primer grupo, que son de 25 estudiantes a partir del año lectivo 2015. El día 2 de marzo conformamos el nivel 10º del primer grupo de bachilleres en comunicación y cine. Que si para el año 2017 tendríamos la promoción de este primer bachillerato.
Quiero aprovechar la ocasión para dar gracias a Dios porque este es la primera promoción de cine en Panamá, del Bachillerato en Comunicación y Cine. Y estoy muy emocionada y feliz de poder anunciar a los estudiantes que esta noche pues se nos gradúan. Primer puesto de honor, Renzo Gabriel Arteaga Sanz. Segundo puesto de honor, Diana Betina González Ulate.
Cineserie was the last series of films that I programmed at this movie theater. And with that, I will leave you with a preview of some of my work.
May I call you Alan?
Who are you? I'm Steven. You must be Michael.
I didn't think you were coming.
Are you sure you're holding up okay?
You never visited your mother because of your brother? Michael.
Everything was always about you!
What? Santorini.
Buenas noches a todos ustedes. Quiero extender una calurosa bienvenida a ustedes de acompañarnos en la celebración de los 40 años de nuestro querido Jorge, quien Dios le dio la bendición de llegar a esta edad de los 40 años. Ustedes, todos ustedes, siempre han sido para nosotros una familia extendida. Y me agrada mucho que ustedes hizo el esfuerzo para venir aquí a compartir y celebrar con nosotros la celebración de los 40 años de vida que Dios le dio a Jorge.
We had a very special surprise in store for everyone at my birthday party. We told a photographer to set up a photo shoot of everyone invited while there was a surprise coming in the back.
3.
Sybil Ameer was the type of woman who was always carrying a smile on her face, who was always elegantly dressed and was always respectful and courteous with teachers and the school personnel, during and after the school life of her children. Mrs. Ameer was determined for her children to receive the best education, not only intellectually, but also in spiritual values, and she did. To her children and family, I say today, be determined to live in the present and live for her legacy.
It begins with wisdom. Sister Sybil was certainly a woman of wisdom, always made a wise decision and a valuable contribution. We acquire knowledge from training and discipline, but wisdom is God's gift to us. And God blessed her with wisdom.
De que siempre desde que ellos nacieron, nosotros siempre hemos ido junto con ellos, dándonos nuestros consejos, nosotros a la iglesia juntos, y siempre rezamos juntos. Nosotros fuimos al cine juntos y ellos salieron sobresalientes en sus estudios como también en su vida social.
Just focus my camera.
It is important to know what you believe and live by what you believe, as she said. You know, she said, I live by what I believe. And I think that is fundamental.
To her memory of a very special person, Sybil Ameer.